Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 302. Iliya here. You know the drill. We're gonna get into the market, have a look what happened this week, and of course what we can expect for the upcoming one. So without further ado, let's check out the news and get into the technicals. So checking out the economic calendar for next week, it actually looks a little bit busy. So on Monday, we're having some Euro Spanish flash CPI here, pending home sales, nothing as important on Monday. However, Mondays have actually been extremely amazing, and I in general do not trade Mondays, but for example, this month overall, every single Monday moved amazingly. And I only capitalized on this Monday, the last Monday, while the previous two Mondays I fully missed. So definitely gonna be showing up on Monday. Tuesday, we have a cash rate here for the Aussie, right? So if you're an Aussie trader, make sure to watch out for that. And then ECB president speaking, JOLTS job openings, pretty good, nothing that much to be worried about. Wednesday, we have CPI estimates here for the euro, that is important. And then we have the preliminary NFP, okay, and manufacturing PMI here. So Wednesday looks like a pretty volatile day, especially with this non-farm employment change, okay, that's the NFP before the real NFP. Thursday, we have unemployment claims, pretty good. And then on Friday, we have NFP and services PMI. So actually, I take my words back. I thought there was nothing important, but we actually are trading in an NFP week. I almost forgot we're entering into a brand new month right now. So NFP week, but of course, don't have any expectations. Just be aware when the news are being released. So for example, on Wednesday, watch out for these two news. They're very heavy, while Monday and Tuesday, job openings, probably not as great, depending, of course, the results. And then on Thursday, unemployment claims look a pretty good day to be trading because there is nothing heavy. And then, of course, on Friday, I'm very likely not going to trade or just wait for NFP to come out, see where it's going to go, and then I'm going to show up to trade. Okay, so that's the plan for this week. Now, let's check out the technicals. Fanatics, I spent 1.5 months putting together the Fanatic Bootcamp that is designed to help you exit the break-even stage with just 2 simple tools and 6 hours of content. Now, if you have been loving how I analyze the market in the weekly outlook, if you have been loving how I trade and how I think about the market, this is really going to show you everything that I do for an extremely small price. So we're going to be working on your mindset first, fixing your mindset, your limiting beliefs, and exiting your emotional cycles. Then I'm going to be giving you the 2 tools that I use, only 2 tools, so you're going to actually know what I'm doing in these weekly outlooks. And then of course, I'm going to give you the process and the mechanics for it so you can actually build it into a trading plan. So if you're interested, first link in the description, click on it, and I'm going to see you on the other side. All right, as usual, we're going to get started with the Dixie. So let's pretty much reverse engineer it by going back on the quality time frame to see kind of my overall expectations from last week. Now, again, it was a little bit tricky because we could have had too many scenarios, and the very key question was at that time, is this daily bullish imbalance going to hold? So we had a very nice sell-off on Monday, straight taking us into this daily bullish imbalance, and then again, you can see, right, we don't know at that time. Is it going to hold? Is it not going to hold? So I gave, of course, the 2 scenarios. Then the market consolidated. It started breaking higher with lots of momentum. And pretty much we had Wednesday and Thursday absolutely crazy days. We had US GDP being released, being very positive, and the market just smashed this daily week high as indicated. And it even went further to smash some of the highs to the left. So not that one, but this one was taken here as well. So incredible week. I didn't trade a lot of EU and GU because I'm right now focused on gold, but my community absolutely destroyed EU, GU, and USD JPY because right now we kind of went on this risk off sentiment. The DXY started climbing and gold kind of started chopping around, while, for example, the majors are going absolutely crazy. So yeah, pretty nice to see this daily bullish imbalance holding. Now, if I go to the weekly time frame, the market still kind of looks pretty chopped up, so nothing much to extract from the weekly apart that we're having a nice bullish candle. That's good. And yes, we're starting to see a little bit of a sign of a bullish order flow right now. We had a daily bullish, we pull back, we make a higher low, and right now we're making a higher high. We're breaking a major structure to the left right here. Okay, that is the last major lower high. Now, of course, the market still has a lot of liquidity levels to take above us. However, we're also making new daily bullish imbalances here. We're having a daily bullish here that was created on Thursday, and then Friday also made another one. So if you ask me right now, it looks pretty bullish. However, if you just zoom out a little bit, just zoom out, right? I kind of don't trade market structure anymore like I used to, like break the structure down and up and down and up and supply and demand zones. Like I don't do that anymore. But what I do right now is I'm just gonna zoom out, and what I will see is that we're just getting like lower highs and lower highs and lower highs, right? And that could be yet another lower high. Okay, so until I really start seeing like the market on the macro side of things starting to trend higher, I wouldn't really say right now, okay, we're bullish. Because I could have said, and I probably did, hey, we're bullish here as well. Look at the market making a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low, right? We're gonna go up, right? But it just ended up creating one macro lower high. Here as well, like it pushed up, higher low formation, okay, we're popping higher, we're breaking structure, we're making imbalances, only to end up to make a new lower low. Okay, so absolutely no expectations, but of course the current order flow to me is pretty bullish. We're having these two daily bullish imbalances. That is going to be again our points of interest coming into the week. Currently we're having this hourly bearish imbalance here to act as a little bit of a struggle area, a little bit of resistance. So again, like if the bullish scenario comes in, we tap into the daily, we come into the hourly, react from it, we break it, and then we potentially seek the next liquidity point. That is going to be that high, eventually this high. Okay, so that is kind of a very, very, very easy basic buy scenario. Just tap into that daily, give us the long setup, fail the hourly, and give us that no struggle area towards the high, as I like to call it. Okay, and now of course it can develop in so many different ways. It can open up, it can absolutely rocket lower with a hourly bearish imbalances, let's say, pull back, react from the daily, break the daily, and then guess what, it's gonna go to take out this liquidity low. Okay, so that is the bearish scenario. However, yes, again, it's not about expecting things, and it's not about saying where the market is gonna go. It's about actually showing up and being able to flow with the markets. Okay, because here we of course had that daily imbalance. We could have said, okay, it's gonna tap and it's gonna go, but we don't know. The market started very bearish, we took shorts. On Tuesday it consolidated in preparations, we didn't trade. Wednesday started to rock, we took longs. Thursday pulls back into the hourly, we take longs. Friday it's already extended, taking liquidity, we do not trade. Okay, this is why, for example, these hourly bullish imbalances failed, or because we took massive liquidity. EU and GU were also pretty high and low, so not a good time to be trading. So again, do I know right now how the Monday is going to open and what it's going to do? Absolutely not. This is going to be my ideal scenario for longs. And of course, the short scenario always comes in. Maybe that forward zone holds and starts pushing lower, then reacts from the daily, and then maybe we start continuing going lower, then we can look to target the liquidity. However, with that very recent bullish momentum, I do feel like it could potentially persist. So I'm going to be very careful to monitor what happens and whether these two daily bullish imbalances hold. Okay, so because if these fail and if we start having a lot of bearish pressure towards them, now that could mean immediately a shift of order flow. But for now, I'm going to say, okay, I'm more bullish on the DXY. We're starting to build some bullishness, so I'm going to be long biased, targeting some of these recent lows. All right, and on the first sign, as I always say, on the first sign of the sellers actually getting back into the market, I'm going to be the first one to short it because I know how to flow with the market. EURUSD also amazing performance for my team this week. Again, we kind of had these daily failed. The market was failing these daily, so pretty much all the liquidity targets here were fulfilled. Ultimate liquidity, this is exactly where we stopped, okay, on Thursday, and then pretty much Friday ended up pulling back. Now here again, I had a bullish scenario, as I always do, okay. However, like my scenarios here didn't play out because I had this very small fall imbalance, and I was like, can the market pull back here and react? No, it just pulled back into the daily. So this daily, actually, I drew it as an expectation, or was it already there? Oh yeah, it was already there. Yeah, so we actually have, so the daily bullish have failed. We had the daily bearish, and the market pulls back into that daily bearish. And literally, again, you can see it kind of reacted. It tried to break the reaction. Okay, if you want to learn how imbalances are failing, make sure to check out my bootcamp. It's the first link in the description, okay? But it actually failed to break that daily imbalance, and then it started introducing the bearish pressure, all right? And it was literally a no struggle area all the way towards that low. Then again, we got this hourly bearish imbalance. The market pulls back into it, and it absolutely dumps. There were so many setups, so many 1 hourly setups, so many 15-minute setups to be capitalized. It was incredible. Okay, I'm kind of pissed that I don't trade EU and GU, but I know that the market moves in cycles. Gold, for example, sucked that week. EU and GU were great, but then the other week gold is gonna start developing amazing, and EU and GU are gonna get chopped up. Okay, so it's all about, again, making your choices and suffering the consequences. Okay, so yeah, weekly time frame right now, nothing much. Bearish candle, still inside that massive range, but the daily time frame is very important right now because we're getting these daily follow throughs to the downside. So we're having, again, similar to the DXY, we're having two daily bearish imbalances. That is a very strong bearish signal. We have taken the week low here. Okay, that was my ultimate liquidity because that daily push was weak. Why? Because the daily imbalances failed. And right now it's pretty much a question of, are the sellers going to continue, or did they do their job in order to start reversing again with the overall trend? Because, for example, the next low in this case to target is going to be this daily low. Okay, so how can we get to that daily low? Well, again, potentially pulling us back into these daily imbalances and starting to reverse lower. That will be, of course, the ideal setup. Here again, we also have that little hourly bullish imbalance that was created. So again, like, how is the market going to open? We have no idea. Nobody knows. And if you think you're smart enough to know, okay, it's gonna go here, it's gonna go there, you haven't traded for a long time, right? So it could potentially, right, pull back here, tap into the daily, and then if it starts giving me shorts, great. That will be the textbook setup. That is going to be liquidity number one. It could, of course, first tap into the daily, come into the hourly, react and break. That is going to be, for example, the second scenario. And then, of course, I will always give the reversal. Maybe, again, the market decides to tap into that hourly, invalidate it, start printing bullish, and then head us into the higher daily. But then what is going to happen at that time, I've got no idea, because by that time it could already be Wednesday and I cannot read into the future. Okay, so I would say I am definitely more bearish bias on EU. Now, of course, it really depends on how it is going to develop. Depending on that hourly time frame, is it going to get engaged first in order to push us into the daily, or is the market first going to push into the daily on Monday, and then we're going to be looking for the failure of that imbalance, right? So that is going to be key. And then literally we want to see the market guide us. Like, this is trading. Don't do forecasts. Don't say, oh, the market's gonna reverse from here. No, wait for the market to start guiding you, right? Don't try to catch that top here because you're gonna get swept. Wait for the market to actually show you, hey, I'm gonna go down. There is the imbalance going lower. There is nothing to stop me towards that low, right? And the market goes to take out that low. So again, let's not say right now, okay, it's gonna go into the daily and it's gonna reverse. No, right? Let it come. Let it show you that it wants to reverse, and then you're gonna trade it. Okay, so that is USD right now. Again, overall bearish bias. I am a little bit worried that we have taken a pretty major liquidity level here. So again, it's right now all up to the market. So are the sellers going to persist? I'm gonna take shorts. Are the buyers gonna start coming in and invalidating the sellers? I'm gonna be taking longs, but of course I would prefer shorts because I really like this daily bearish order flow. So let's see if it's gonna persist. Let's have a look at GU, which was absolutely bombastic as well. So here, I mean, here, everybody, I gave one scenario and it absolutely played out to perfection. Now, we had this hourly bearish imbalance here and the market tapped into a reaction area on Friday. And then Monday pretty much took us into that hourly area. However, look at what I said here, right? I need to see a daily imbalance on Tuesday. If I go to the daily time frame here, that daily imbalance actually got formed and I almost nailed it to the pip, right? I'm crazy. So there is the daily bearish imbalance that actually formed, okay? And yeah, from there, it was pretty simple. It tapped the daily imbalance, all right? You look for your entry model, which again, not gonna show the entry models because that's not the aim of that video. And then the market just absolutely dumps, takes the liquidity, it creates yet another hourly bearish imbalance, pulls back into it, and it just absolutely crashes all the way towards this ultimate low here. Okay, so what a week on GU it was. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely textbook. Tapping again into that, the only thing here to push the market higher was this daily bullish imbalance because it was not mitigated. And then the market tapped it, reacted, but it came into the recently established bearish order flow. It tapped into that, and then as we started seeing the signs of the market failing to break above that daily, okay, actually showing us that it's rejecting, it actually consolidated for a whole day here. Okay, but then we started seeing the 1 hour turning bearish, we started seeing the 50-minute time frame turning bearish, giving us the signal, and then it was a smooth ride for there. And also Thursday, when that GDP came out here at 15:30, the shorts were offered here in London, and then just New York absolutely took it home into that ultimate liquidity point. We were taking longs here as well, we were taking longs here as well, we were taking longs here as well. It was absolutely crazy. So the key question right now, what's gonna happen? Firstly, we don't know. Okay, whoops, jumped into the next pair. But we are having that very nice bearish order flow. Again, similar to the rest of the pairs, we're having a lot of bearishness. Like all of these daily bearish imbalances are not a joke because Daily imbalances don't form that often, and usually when they form, they do tend to hold. The only thing that worries me right now is this massive liquidity that we have taken. So if you look at the weekly time frame, we came in to take out that high, and above that high we did not expand. So and after we took out that weekly high, there was nothing on the weekly for the market to continue higher, right? We didn't have a zone. So the market actually swept that weekly high and it went from liquidity to liquidity on the opposite side. So again, right now, are we going to continue expanding below that low? And is the market going to guide us towards this low? That is the current question that we have to wait to get an answer to, okay? And how are we gonna know? Well, if the daily just continues with the downtrend. So again, very simple here. Daily bearish imbalances, I will be looking to see if we can get any shorts. Again, we had a lot of profit taking here on Friday, actually. We formed 2 hourly bullish imbalances, which is no joke as well. So again, is the market going to tap into these imbalances, guide us into the daily? And then what is going to happen from the daily? Are we going to start getting the bearish model? Hopefully, that is going to give us the shorts. And then again, the overall target is going to be that low. And yeah, then of course the invalidation will be okay. We tap into that daily, but we invalidate it. That can guide us into the upper daily. And then what is going to happen from there? I've got no idea. Okay. So overall, I mean, super clear bias if we look into it like that without thinking. So if you were mainly focused right now and say, okay, it's bearish, I'm bearish. Okay. You would miss out on the thing that here we went from liquidity to liquidity. And this right now is a sweep. We haven't really confirmed a break below that massive low. And we see a massive reaction. So I'm only going to be confident to continue with the sales if the market right now breaks below that low and establishes below it. And then I can say, okay, maybe we're going to go towards that low. Currently, this to me looks like a sweep. So I'm starting to have reservations that maybe the market can actually make a deeper pullback or even reverse. But for now, I'm going to, of course, stick to the shorts and see how these 2 daily bearish imbalances react. Okay. So that is GU, 2 scenarios, looking to short from that daily. And if that daily fails, that means it's going to guide us to the upper daily. And then, of course, what is going to happen from the upper daily? We're probably going to have a lot of bullishness here, potentially establishing against us. So it's going to be pretty tricky. So with that, let's wait and let's see. I don't look at $AUD at all, but it has been not that bad recently. So here we have a daily bearish imbalance that actually got tapped. Yeah, so here I had a few scenarios, like again, the market can just continue going lower. No, the market opened up and it started to consolidate. Scenario number 2 was to actually tap into that daily imbalance and to reverse, which is exactly what happened. And then of course, scenario number 3 is to see the market invalidating that daily bullish imbalance and starting to guide us higher. Okay, so what did the market do? It opened up Monday, chop, 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 opened up Tuesday, chop, chop. It came in on Wednesday, all right, taps into that daily bearish imbalance. And yeah, from there you can be looking to take shorts. Then there is your there is the best short here, because from that daily you actually had the 4-hourly time frame to agree with you with that beautiful break of structure with an imbalance. The market taps in and then it absolutely sells off into this liquidity target that we have right here. Okay, so a very nice, not that bad. If you were very patient for that Thursday trade though, or maybe taking a short on a Wednesday. So I'm not gonna go and explore. Yeah, there is definitely an entry model here to take a short from that daily imbalance. So not a bad, I mean, I'm honestly a little bit pissed in terms of my psychology as well and emotions, because I mainly focused on gold and I took a take profit and I took 2 losses, right? So I'm having a losing week on gold. Meanwhile, like all of these amazing pairs just performed incredible. Like even choppy pairs like AUD did well. So yeah, a little bit pissed here, but it's okay. We move on. Next liquidity target here on AUD is going to be that low. I really like the daily here. The daily still has potential to go. It's a no struggle area. There is nothing to stop it. We're having a daily bearish order flow to get established. So what I'm going to say here is, well, I would like to see the daily tap in the market to continue. Now, if I study the reaction areas here, is that tapped? Yep, so this is why the market potentially stopped there. Again, is this why it stopped here? I've got no idea, but I've had my model and I have my zones and I have my approach. And I would say, for example, this is why I think the market made the low here, because it tapped into an unmitigated reaction area. Okay, I'm not going to be looking for a reversal here. These for me all is what I call struggle areas, reaction areas. This is where the market can react. Okay, and currently we also printed a very small quality bullish imbalance. So very similar to the rest of the pairs. Let's tap into that, take us into the daily, give us the short and drive towards the next liquidity. Okay, looks pretty clear. Let's see if it's gonna play out. All right, if we first tap into the daily and then into the 4-hourly, then you still have to wait for that 4-hourly to fail, because it's gonna be a struggle area, and when it fails, that is gonna unlock the liquidity to the downside. So I'm gonna stay a little bit one-sided here, honestly. Like, it's gonna take something crazy for the market to invalidate that daily, to invalidate that fall, and to just start guiding us higher. But that is definitely possible. We have interest rate and press conference for the Aussie dollar this week, so let's see. Maybe it decides to start shifting. If the DXY also starts shifting, always be aware of the opposite scenario, okay? Because if the market fails that daily bearish imbalance, this is going to guide you towards that liquidity. And if you start seeing the failure, well, you better take the long, because it's going to potentially go there, okay? That's Aussie dollar, but I prefer the shorts. So let's see. NZUSD being a lot weaker than the Aussie dollar, it didn't bother pulling back into the daily. It just consolidated and then it just absolutely dumped like crazy. Beautiful setups here. It looks like GU, massive flush, lower high, massive flush. Very nice. So it didn't bother to make any pullbacks. It just dropped and collected all the liquidity points I had here. So what are we going to target right now? Wow, this one is looking nice right now. So this one is really entering into some no man's land right here. So if I go to the weekly, yeah, there is nothing to stop it on the weekly. This is a beautiful, these are two beautiful weekly candles here. So in such a case, right, while NZUSD and Aussie dollar are extremely choppy, there come always times when this is the market cycle. Like, this is my biggest reflection recently, because I had incredible time with gold, trading it a lot. It seemed easier, and then this month I just had troubles with gold. And now, right now, I see that, for example, money started to go elsewhere. The market started moving on, even on choppy pairs like NZUSD. Like, look at that beautiful move here. So yeah, it's some sort of a reflection. I have to think about whether I would like to re-add some majors to start trading them. But super bearish, daily bearish imbalances. We're actually having a closure below this liquidity, so that confirms a potential break. There is nothing on the hourly time frame to potentially stop price and push it higher. So what I can say is, well, let's wait for the tap into that daily and let's wait for shorts. Massively bearish though, massively bearish. So is it going to go a little bit higher maybe to collect some liquidity, or is it just going to open up and have yet another massive bearish week? We don't know. Okay, we don't know. Like, to the left, yes, we're just tapping into this reaction here. Let's see if that's correct, or this one get tapped. Oh, that one got tapped already. Okay, so the next target then is going to be this reactionary. So we can trade potentially shorts into this reactionary here. Okay, and yeah, the main thing about NZUSD, if you want to trade it right now, is you just gotta wait for the short. But again, how is the short going to develop? I've got no idea, right? Are we gonna start heavily bullish and then reverse and go lower? Are we just gonna open and reverse? Are we just gonna massively break lower? Are we gonna consolidate like last week and then slowly go lower? We don't know. Okay, so let's wait to see what is gonna happen. Preferably give us a pullback into that daily, give us a short model, target liquidity number one, and then if the market continues to break below that liquidity, then you can target the daily reaction area as well. So pretty simple here, honestly. Very bearish bias. If you ask me, of course, I'm gonna say shorts. I will always be aware of the opposing scenario though. Like, let's say the market starts failing that daily. Let's say even that hourly bearish imbalance fails. If I see that, I'm going to go for the higher daily imbalance as well. Okay, so that's NZUSD looking pretty good for shorts. All right, and here is gold that absolutely killed me this month. So I'm probably going to end up with a losing month on gold. So again, full transparency here. We've had some amazing price action, and I feel a little bit like a dumbass for trading gold. But anyway, there was a beautiful profitable trade on Monday. Tuesday I took a loss, and then there was another loss somewhere. I don't even remember where. Oh yeah, it was on Thursday, and then I took a loss and a break even. That should have been a win. Not amazing. Anyway, right, again, Monday opens. We just absolutely rocket on Monday. Like, look at that Monday. That is a crazy Monday. Luckily, I managed to capitalize on it, but absolutely crazy. Then I tried to continue the longs on Tuesday. That is when I got a stop loss because the market reached a high. It's never good to trade at all-time highs, but with gold, you never know. It can just continue to trend. So currently, a little bit tricky. So let's go to the weekly time frame. The market just continues and continues and continues to expand. No pullbacks into these weekly imbalances. We have yet another one that is extremely small here on the futures chart. It kind of looks like an imbalance. I'm not sure if like on on these kind of graphs we have a daily. Yeah, we have a small daily, so that's good. But I'm trading the COMEX charts. Okay, so the futures chart. So absolutely crazy. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Absolutely popping. When are we gonna stop? We don't stop, right? The market pulls back into that daily bullish imbalance here. We tried to long in on Thursday. It didn't move heck on Thursday because on Wednesday and Thursday, EU and GU just absolutely crashed like crazy. And I tried to take a short on Thursday here, but I got a break even because it didn't follow through towards the previous daily low. So yeah, quite pissed. But anyway, you cannot really have expectations just because EU and GU are absolutely dumping that gold is gonna dump, because gold is built differently. It's a different type of market. It's actually an asset, right? So it doesn't go with these crazy dips that, for example, EU or GU would do. Friday was also pretty good, but I didn't get an entry to take a long trade, and I wanted to take a long trade, but it did not provide. So yeah, currently, I mean, all-time highs are the target because we're moving away from that daily imbalance. We're moving away from it after a pretty big consolidation, and but it's starting to get a little bit chopped up, gold. I don't like it right now. It's starting to get a little bit chopped up. It's developing a little bit like a Forex pair right now. Like when I used to trade only EU, I would always be like frick you EU, right? Everything is moving, you're chopping. Okay, then you feel like you're always on the wrong pair. But of course, what I keep realizing is that there are cycles. Gold, for example, was, let's say, amazing when it was going up here like August, and this even in that chop was kind of amazing. But right now, like, all it does is makes a massive move on Monday, and then it also makes a massive move in London session, and then your New York session ends up getting chopped up. Okay, so currently we're having that quality bullish imbalance that the market very violently pulled back into. So I'm like, that's sketchy. We took some liquidity and a very massive pullback into that quality with a 1 hourly bearish. So this, everybody, is a very sketchy price action here. So is that forward zone going to hold right now to guide us into all-time highs? I want to see pop, take the 1 hourly, react, break, and then guide me into the highs. So that is going to be like that is going to be the Monday setup if it goes up. Okay, if this forwardly if this forwardly bullish imbalance fails, okay, liquidity number 1 right here, and then liquidity number 2 here. Okay, so if you start seeing the failure here guiding you lower, go deeper into here, and eventually the lowest point, that is the lowest point of that daily imbalance. And then that, if that daily imbalance actually starts failing, then that can potentially expose some of these lower weekly imbalances, or at least that most recent one. So I have a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. Okay, I would absolutely prefer the bullish one because of course gold is bullish. But of course, if that quality bullish imbalance fails, I would be the first one to short it. Okay, so something like this, you see the bearish order flow starting to kick in, and then of course all of these lows are going to become weak. Low, 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 low. They're all gonna get taken if potentially that forward imbalance fails. But if it does not fail, and then if the 1 hour fails, I'm gonna be looking longs for all-time highs. And then what happens after all-time highs, I've got no idea. Okay, I tried to trade all-time high on Tuesday, I lost. I didn't try to trade all-time high. When was it? Last Friday or something, or here that Tuesday. I missed the trade, it could take profit. So it's all probabilities. All probabilities. This is why you got to strike on every single setup. So that is gold. I'm of course more bullish towards all-time highs, but that quality bullish imbalance is going to determine the fate of gold. So let's see. USD/JPY, also incredible development. Again, all the majors were absolutely incredible this week. Now, this one at the start of the week was a little bit chopped up. And what I said here is that we're having a daily sweep and then we're having a quality sweep, so I didn't like it as much. But you can see kind of Monday opens up and it created a quality bullish imbalance, but then immediately it flipped it lower. All right, so that kind of gave a little bit of a bearish sentiment here. And then it started to consolidate. So kind of my scenarios here, I mean, there was a daily bullish imbalance. The market didn't really pull back into that. We actually tried to break above that level, but we didn't break it clearly. You can see I wanted to see my imbalance above that high in order to confirm that we're going to go. But it kind of formed right there, and then we immediately destroyed that imbalance. And then we started to consolidate. So it was pretty tricky. And again, this is, goes everybody. Like, we don't know how it's going to happen. I gave you 3 scenarios, but none of them happened. The 4th scenario happened where the market just started to consolidate, and then pretty much started moving when things became clear. Okay, and then we went up and took out all the liquidity points, and of course there was a beautiful long trade here, and then there were a lot of 1 hour and 50-minute scalps on the way up. So we're finally starting to exit though. So I see right now we're having a very clear break above that major high. So we're no longer, for example, sweeping down and sweeping up. We actually came to sweep down here. And right now it seems like right now it's breaking up, and I really like this break because we have an imbalance that is above it, or that's kind of aligning with the break. That is always a very good signal for a break and not a liquidity grab. Okay, so we have that daily bullish imbalance similar to, for example, to the rest. We have a very small hourly bearish imbalance. So overall, again, the narrative is very similar across the pairs. We're having daily imbalances. They were having like an opposing hourly imbalance that we would like to fail in order to confirm the move. So the market taps into the daily, hourly, react, break, trade into the highs. That will be the most ideal setup. Now, of course, the market can first tap into the hourly and then into the daily, and then you have to be looking for the entry model to potentially go long. Like, again, we don't know how it's gonna develop. Like, do I see a short scenario here? Again, like, we need to have some sort of a reversal and a massive shift of sentiment in order to see all of these pairs just suddenly start reversing after that massive pump, right? Is this pump manipulation? Because a lot of times pumps like this are like, okay, we're gonna go, and then they just end up flipping you around. So again, no expectations. We are currently long bias, but on the first signs of the shorts, we're gonna start taking shorts. But for now, that is my overall outlook. Tapping into that daily, giving us the long signals and targeting the liquidity. Okay, and then of course for the short side, I don't know how it's gonna look like. Maybe we tap here, come in, react, break, and then if we start again establishing that bearishness here, well, it's gonna be pretty evident at that time, and you don't need to forecast it from now. Right, just wait, and the market is gonna show you what it wants to do, and then you're gonna jump into it, and you're gonna take your profits, and you're gonna not care about being right or wrong. You're gonna care about making money and following the markets. Okay, so that is USD JPY looking pretty nicely bullish. Let's see if it's going to follow through. I mean, Euro JPY, it kind of moved up, but it moved up in the most choppiest manner ever. Right, look at that. That's absolutely crazy. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, so these are the exact worst conditions to be trying to trade Euro JPY. Okay, when Euro USD is absolutely dumping, when USD JPY is absolutely pumping, okay, Euro JPY is gonna be absolutely choppy, right? This one shows us that the euro is a little bit stronger, for example, than the yen is weak, or like, yeah, whatever. Yes, so let's see. Can we extract something here? Again, it's not making daily imbalances. The weekly time frame, sure, it popped up, very good. No daily imbalances, no hourly imbalances. So what can I say, everybody, to this price action? I've got no idea here. There are no zones. There are no liquidity levels. The liquidity, yeah, I mean, can we go for that high here? That looks like an all-time high. Maybe, okay, but do we have a zone to guide us there? Absolutely no. Even if I go to the 1 hour time frame, it's a complete chop. So yeah, I've got nothing to say about this pair. So I'm sorry, EJ traders. If you find a way to travel towards that high, then great. I personally don't see it because it's just absolutely messed up. There are so many better pairs to be trading than EJ and GJ. Just gonna say that. And yeah, GJ as well, like absolute chop. Daily time frame, actually I was expecting here a daily bearish imbalance on Tuesday that actually formed. Did it form? Yes, it actually did form, but then it formed, and then it actually got invalidated with the double rejection failure. You can look for longs, but then also your longs suck. Yeah, so can we take that liquidity here, which I still have from last week? We have this forward bullish imbalance. Well, very choppy pair again. Like, if you ask me, okay, that kind of looks like a potential scenario. Maybe if we continue with that recent bullishness and with that daily bearish imbalance failing, I can say right now that this high is weak, but I would absolutely not target something crazy like that on a choppy pair like GJ. Okay, so let's see. This is my outlook on GJ. I kind of see a long right now. That can very easily, very easily right now turn into a sweep. That high breaks it with the candle, then the next candle dips below. If that turns into a sweep, that is going to expose the lower liquidity here. Okay, so let's see if that forward imbalance fails. That can guide us into the lows. So that is GJ, but I'm absolutely not touching these pairs. All right, so let's check out indices. They were definitely not bad this week. We had a very nice dip. We didn't tap into any zone, but we still had a very nice dip. And then on kind of Thursday into Friday, we started recovering that dip a little bit. So right now it's pretty tricky to say what is going to happen. And again, personally, I I don't trade indices as I would trade Forex. I'm always aware of my levels and absolutely everything. However, I scalp them. I scalp them on the very low time frames. So yeah, kind of these top-down analysis are not as valuable to me. But anyway, we had 3 days of a dip. Okay, and the market is right now trying to potentially recover. So is it going to continue the dip lower into that weekly imbalance, or is it going to start recovering? Well, this is what we're literally going to see into the incoming days. So luckily, I managed to extract some profits from the future market this month. My month on futures is profitable. I passed an account, and I'm already about to pass 2 more. So at least that paid out. While gold absolutely destroyed me this month. But yeah, so currently we are just towards this liquidity point. On the daily time frame, there are no imbalances or anything. There are also no fall imbalances right now. So you see with indices, a lot of times it's kind of very hard to even build a bias, because there are like right now we had a dip. Okay, so if I think as an investor, right, that was, for example, a 2%, that is a pullback. That's not even a dip. So that is a very healthy, I don't even want to call it a correction. It's just like a very brief breather, right? So I can very easily see it right now to continue with all-time highs. Okay, the DXY is starting to get stronger, a lot of positivity starting to get in, the stock market is bullish, so I would just say longs. Now again, how are we gonna go trade towards that? I've got absolutely no idea. So there are no zones here. There is absolutely nothing to work with right now. So I can say, okay, well, let's just wait for the market to keep breaking higher and we're gonna trade it. So then of course you have to be aware of your liquidity targets. That is gonna be liquidity here. Maybe react, print some bullish imbalance here, and then literally guide us into the all-time highs. And of course, the sell scenario will be the market starts printing lower and drives us into the weekly. Okay, it's kind of as easy as that. Currently, I feel like it's pretty hard to say anything. We haven't tapped into any zones to say, okay, that can reverse price. Let's maybe have a look at the other indices to see if we can get a little bit more information. But I am more bullish on the ES than I am bearish. I really like this recovery here that we had Thursday into Friday. So if you start invalidating these levels and if you start having some bullish order flow, I do feel like all-time highs can get reached very easily. All right, let's check out NASDAQ. So again, here we had a daily imbalance. The market tapped it in, but it actually ended up invalidating it. Okay, so we actually also had a dip here. We didn't tap into weekly imbalances or anything. In fact, we created another very small one here. Let me drop that properly. It's so small. And yeah, of course, at the bottom here, we have still the lower one that is left untapped. So yeah, is it ready to continue for all-time highs? Is it going to give us a little bit more of a pullback? Well, this is what we're going to be seeing this week. It's very similar to ES. We had 3 days of bearishness. We still have some sort of a zone here that was tapped, and if you look at it on the daily time frame, the daily candle anatomy is still respecting that zone, although on the hourly time frame actually looks like it was disrespected. At the end of the day, on the daily, we see 2 very big rejections here from that daily imbalance. Okay, and the last Friday here is starting to show us a little bit of a reversal. Now here we have that hourly bearish imbalance that caused the market a little bit of a struggle. The market threw a very big reaction out of that hourly zone, okay, but then immediately recovered it. So that kind of shows me that buyers are entering into the market. So again, if we start breaking above this level first, okay, that level first, we're gonna have a very little stop here at this potential reaction area. Okay, so I would imagine like the long scenario to be take liquidity, tap here, give us a pullback into something, and then potentially target the next one. And then after the next one gets taken, then we pretty much open up the all-time highs. Okay, so that is the bullish scenario. Now, bearish scenario, of course, if the market opens up and it starts trending lower, we're just gonna see it. So why do we need to even think about it right now? Let's just wait for the market to open. Let's see where it guides us. If it guides us higher, we're gonna go higher towards all-time highs. If it starts bearish, we have our zone and we can be looking for a deeper pullback, take some liquidity, tap into that weekly imbalance, and then maybe from there the dip could be over for us to resume going for the long trades. Okay, so that's NQ. And let's very quickly check out YM, which is kind of usually the one that is lacking behind. But yeah, this one just took all-time highs. The weekly time frame is a pretty big wick out. There are no weekly imbalances to work with. On the daily time frame, there is also nothing to work with. There are no bullish, there are no bearish. We have this liquidity point here. The market didn't want to reach it. Oh, we actually have a very small. Oh, we have a very small daily bearish that we're just tapping in right now. But yeah, kind of looks like, I mean, that is such a small imbalance. I can't even see it if I zoom out my charts. It tapped in. reacted a little bit, no full hourly bullish one. So again, everybody, I feel like for futures, we just have to wait and see how the week is gonna how the first days are even going to develop. Are we going to kind of follow through with that bullish pressure we had from Friday? Because Friday kind of went a little bit crazy. Like, well, bearish, and Friday, boom, 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 right? It started doing some massacres here. So let's see if we, for example, start making higher highs. So let's say that this is a higher high right now, and then the market makes another one, breaks above it with an imbalance. Okay, then this is the reaction area, pull back, and a continuation. That will be the long setup with an imbalance above. And then of course the short setups are going to be pretty easy. We start seeing the market trending lower, making some bearish structure, and then of course we can be targeting this liquidity. And if you want to go for a lower hanging fruit, you will target that one here. So that is US 30. I don't even look at this one. I only trade ES, and I only look at MES to be more precise. That is the only thing that I trade, and I don't even look at NASDAQ or the rest because it causes me a lot of overthinking. I know a lot of people look into these SMT, blah, 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 this and that and this. No, I just trade one instrument, full focus on it. It keeps me very stable. So DAX feel like it's still not ready to commit. So like we have a daily bullish imbalance here, but if you have a look at the overall weekly development, we did absolutely nothing. We tapped in, chopped, Tuesday chopped, Wednesday tried, Thursday reversed, and then Friday is trying again. I would just say on that one, analysis remains the same. We have taken major liquidity here. We have taken daily liquidity here. I can delete that one. We're not going to take out that low, but this daily imbalance is not showing us much, okay? So I would say, well, let us wait for the market to really pick up some steam and exit this range. So when it starts trending higher, then we're gonna get it. So I cannot say right now it's going to start trending higher because yeah, it kind of tried to do so, it failed, and right now again it looks like it's trying to do so, but I really need to see a break above that high here. So if we break and close above that high with a daily candle closure, and we make a daily bullish imbalance, another one, then it's gonna be a little bit cleaner. We have a weekly reaction area, tap in, react, and then we can start heading for all-time highs. Okay, so that is kind of DAX. It's currently cooking for something. Like, this consolidation doesn't happen for no reason. It is of course choppy, but you can see it happen at the top before the dip, and it's gonna happen at the bottom before the pump. So of course, can we expect a pump? No, we cannot expect anything. But if it actually starts showing us the pump, then of course we're gonna follow it. But for now, pretty chopped up. I will be looking for clear breakouts and a clear trend. So overall within the market, we have a very nice theme. We're having that DXY risk off perspective. The market is jumping back into the dollar. The dollar is appreciating with daily bullish imbalances. And pretty much we have two daily bullish imbalances on the DXY. We have two bearish on EU, two bearish on GU. So again, the overall bias is longs on the DXY and of course shorts on EU, GU. Aussie dollar also is looking like shorts. NZD dollar is also looking like shorts with these daily bearish imbalances. So again, you have to watch out for that very recent hourly zone. That is a theme across EU, GU, AU, and even USD JPY. Gold is very tricky right now. Again, at all-time highs, it is starting to consolidate a little bit because right now money is flowing elsewhere. People seem like to be going a lot into the dollar, being and appreciating, which means that gold right now can stagnate a little bit, because that does not necessarily mean people are going to sell their gold right now and dump it into DXY, but that means it can just slow down a little bit and people are not going to be buying as much gold, or investors are going to position their money elsewhere, which might lead to a little bit of a slowdown on gold, which is what we have kind of seen. Apart from Mondays that are absolutely rocketing, you have like a rocket Monday, and then the market just ends up doing nothing. Then you have again a rocket Monday, and then the market does absolutely nothing. And then again you have a rocket Monday, and then it does absolutely nothing. So that's kind of how it has been playing out, which hasn't been very nice to trade. Here's the JPY looking for longs. Let's see, EJ and GJ, absolute skip. These are very choppy pairs right now. And for indices, I really need to see a little bit of commitment to see if the market created the actual dip. And right now it's ready to commit for new all-time highs. I just need to see a little bit more structure in order flow to go bullish. On the ES, on NASDAQ, it's exactly the same. Need to see the bullishness. But of course, if the bearishness also kicks in, I'm going to be looking to target the liquidity. And then maybe finally we're going to be pulling back into a weekly imbalance where maybe I can even buy some more stocks. US 30, exactly the same development as ES and NQ. And DAX, I'm going to be looking for a stronger breakout in order to finally confirm that the market is exiting that range. Okay, so that is the outlook for this week, everybody. Hope you had a lovely week. Hope you had a lovely month. Make sure to reflect on it, make sure to prepare for the next quarter actually, because we're having a quarterly shift right now. And any questions, let me know in the comments, and yeah, talk to you in the next one.